In this video, we're going to focus on printing labels and also making a modification to create a customized label out of Inspire Youth Assistant or Children's Assistant. So we're going to click on Print and then click on the Labels option. And instead of creating a brand new label from scratch, I'm going to copy a label that is already here just to save ourselves some time, and it makes it a little easier on us instead of redoing work. So I'll click on Address Label, and I'm going to click on Copy Report, and it asks me, do you wish to copy a report address label? And then it basically says if you want to, click yes, and if you don't, click no. So I'll click on yes for that, and it creates my new copy of the address label. And I will double click on that, and I need to give it a new name, and in this case I want to name it Mr. and Miss. And what I'm going to be doing is I want to create a label that instead of putting the individual first and last name on it, I want it to address as Mr. and Miss John Doe, for instance, for each individual that I'm sending this out to. Now, another thing I'll need to make sure is to change my stock. I'm going to be using 5160 or 15160 instead. And I will be clicking on Next. And now all this information is pretty much the way I want it, except for the first line, this system full name. This is the token that I want to change. In this case, I'm going to highlight it and press delete on my keyboard. And then I'm going to add in a new token. And what I want to do is type in name and browse down here to individual husband and wife names and Mr. and Miss. And so I'm going to put this in here, click OK. It'll be Mr. and Miss now. And all the additional information will remain the same because it's going to be the default address. I also want to add in a PostNet barcode. PostNet barcoding simply speeds up the sorting and speeded delivery process at the post office. So I'll need to choose the correct token based on the address tokens I'm using for my label. And since I'm using an individual default address, I need to use an individual default address for the zip code in order to create this PostNet barcode. I can click Next, and then I also want to create a sort on this. So I'm going to type in zip code, and then go down to individual default address and choose the zip code token. Click OK, and I do want it to group on these primary sorts. And if I would like, I can print each group on a new page in order to make sure they're completely grouped in that means. And then click Next again. I'm not going to be creating a Microsoft Word template for this, so I will click on Finish. And now I have my new report for my labels, and I can click on that and then click on Print, and it will generate those labels for me. And we'll zoom in, and you can see everything looks correct. It has the PostNet barcode at the top, and it also lists the additional information here at the bottom.